and we are able to work out some modalities. It will have been interesting to allow people, according to their own experiences, to ask questions. When you are talking about witchcraft, some people take it seriously, and some do not take it serious at all. And some talk that all about witchcraft is child's play. It is a pity for anybody to think that all about witchcraft is child's play. It is very important to know, in case you do not know, the entire world is miserable today because of the functions and the manipulation of witchcraft. I'm sure you should be able to remember that everything that happens in the Garden of Eden is all about witchcraft. In Genesis chapter 3. All that happens in Genesis chapter 3 is all about witchcraft. All categories of witchcraft were in display. In that Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. But the open white witches was very strong. In that Genesis chapter 3. When you consider that Genesis chapter 3. If we have to go by the explanation by the analysis of the categories of witchcraft. We have to go by the analysis of the categories of witchcraft. All the categories of witchcraft came to play or was used in Genesis chapter 3 verse 1. But as the Ancestral Peter 999 from white witches play bigger role, because serpent there used the witchcraft of influence. And in fact, that was the first thing that was mentioned in that Genesis chapter 3. The serpent was more subtle. So the serpent was more influential. The subtlety of God is part of witchcraft. To white witches. So that means we can easily place some things right now where we have to consider the other time that we talk about all witches exposed. Then we started by analyzing the origin of witchcraft. And we're able to trace the origin of witchcraft to the archangel Lucifer, who was the first witch. He used Zambra 333, Stylized 666, Axopeta 999. Because he was an archangel, he was influential. So he used his influence on other angels that made some angel to fall with him. This irresistible influence that he had, he's still using it up to now, making people to do what they don't want to do, making people to do what will destroy their entire existence. So that was why I said some people take this issue of witchcraft seriously. Some do not. Some think about the issue of witchcraft is mint. Is just another story. It is very important for you to know the entire world minus witchcraft is a better world. your entire life minus witchcraft is a better life. Everything you have suffered since you were born can be traced to witchcraft. Because witchcraft is as old as humankind, it is very difficult for human beings to comprehend. It is very difficult for humankind to comprehend the power of witchcraft. In other words, when you talk about knowledge, witchcraft possesses it. When you talk about the history of creation, witchcraft possesses it. When you talk about the mysteries of life, witchcraft possesses it. In other words, witchcraft is actually summary of Satanism. If you want to summarize Satanism, it's simply witchcraft. That was why I did mention that as sensitive as what we are handling is, it may be very important to talk about how do we analyze your own individual life. Then we are able to know the kind of witchcraft that has been manipulating you and your generations, and how to come out from it in case you care. Because some people really do not want to come out of witchcraft. That is to say, to some people, witchcraft is interesting. And I did mention several times in the gospel, do not let anybody deceive you. There is nothing good about witchcraft. Everything about witchcraft from beginning to the end is wickedness. Yes, there are some fascinating things. After all, Genesis chapter 3 verse 1 talk about subtlety, which you may say in other words be gentility. And then you can also say craftiness. And that was a statement. It is very important for you to know that it was the characteristics of serpents that Satan bewitched. That is the nature of serpent. And Satan now deemed it fit that he could make use of the characteristics of serpent. Now, this makes you to put to check. Watch. We had mentioned this in time past in the gospel. What are your characteristics? Some people, a lot of people have different characteristics. You are born differently and in different places with different experience and maybe different disposition. Okay. So-called, some people are born and they are beautiful. Some describe it as handsome. Some describe it as fair looking. Of course, the scripture described that the first king of Israel was an handsome person. Saul was an handsome person. According to the descriptions of Saul. And when we are doing these expositions of witchcraft, we did mention you watch your characteristics. Do you talk too much? Are you quiet too much? Talking too much may not be a problem. To be quiet too much may not also be a problem. This is your nature that there is nothing anybody can do about it. But the easy way Satan can use and make use of you is get hold of your characteristics. And you have divergent characteristics. Some human beings are tall, moderate, some are moderate, some are short, some are even dwarf. Now, these are our characteristics. When you study the characteristics of a dwarf, and a short person, and a moderate person, and a tall person, you will come out with a lot of things that will surprise you. You will come out with a lot of things that will surprise you. For example, short people, their popular characteristics, they think they are short. They always want to be known. They want to be recognized because they think people look down on them because they are short. And that can ignite some kind of anger in them. So anything you do around them, they will say it is because they are short. As far as they are concerned, anything you do around them is insult. And that makes them to easily hit people. And then that is where Satan and winch will now get hold of something to use there. What about tall people? They superimpose themselves on people. A tall person, whether he is just or she is just being himself or herself or not, every short person will always think that the tall person is superimposing himself or herself. But that is the nature. So any little thing you do as a tall person, somebody is actually making offense from it. Or you too, that think that you are told that you are tall. Because of that, pride enter inside you. And that is where witchcraft will come in. These are all equal with you talk too much, you are too reserved. These are all the things that witchcraft can use. Whether you talk too much, or you're tall, you're short, you are moderate, you are a dwarf, you are too reserved. All of these things are characteristics that which can easily know and which can easily use. And when they use it, you will now be functioning in the naturalness of your person, but in witchcraft. That is why we are now coming to understand now why people can be a witch without their knowledge. You will not know that your character and all your characteristics has been taken over by witch. And it's being used to bewitch people, but you are not aware of it. Now, let me show you something that a lot of Christians quote, and they quote it and apply it wrongly. Colossians chapter 2. Colossians chapter 2. A lot of Christians quote this passage wrongly, most time. Colossians chapter 2, I'm going to read verse 10 and verse 14. Colossians chapter 2, verse 10 and verse 14. I am reading from the Holy Name Scripture. Verse 10. Colossians chapter 2, verse 10. And ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power. Number 14. Blotting out the handwritings of ordinance that were against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. A lot of Christians had misinterpreted Colossians chapter 2, verse 10. And they do not understand that when Paul was writing to the Colossians, that was just a statement. A statement because of what had already happened. If you read the entire Colossians chapter 2, you may have an idea of what Paul was talking about. He was talking about how the Colossians have decided to give their heart, or they have decided to follow the Messiah. And they have become the circumcision. And of course, of salvation. In other words, you cannot just say you are complete in him without us seeing some things in your life. Evidence of the former life, evidence of the new life in salvation, evidence of living your life according to the standard of divine spirituality, and evidence of restitution. The divine activity you embark on that makes you to be complete in him. If you do not embark on any divine and spiritual activity, you cannot be complete. You cannot be complete when you are empty. It is not possible for you to be complete while you are empty. You may be empty before, but right now you have acquired something, including the knowledge of salvation. And the knowledge of divine spirituality. And these are good enough to fill you up, that will make you to be complete. Because if you are not complete, it is not possible. Listen very carefully. It is not possible for you to check the ability of principalities and power. Colossians chapter 2 verse 10 said, Yeshua is the head of all principality and power. And in the same Colossians verse 10, said that ye are complete in him. In other words, there are some things you are expected to do by the Messiah that will make you to be complete in him, which is the head of all principalities and power. Since he is the head of all principalities and power and you are complete in him, then you are able to check. That was why I did mention in the previous gospel. You are able to match and check all principalities and power. So you do not claim to be complete when you know that you are empty. Because if you claim to be complete when you know you are empty, you are only making yourself vulnerable for satanic attack. Because if you do not know what you are talking, the devil that are listening to you, they are watching you. And it is very interesting for you to know that what makes you complete, the devil knows it more than you. And once they know that you are complete, they avoid you. You don't need to tell them to avoid you. They will avoid you because they have seen that you are complete. In the realm of the spiritual, you don't really need too much introduction. As I have said this several times. It is not in the realm of the physical where things can hide it, people can pretend, people can fake. But in the realm of the spiritual, everything is open, nothing is hidden. The realm of divine spirituality is able to know everything about the realm of satanic spirituality. So the realm of positive spirituality knows everything about the realm of negative spirituality. And the realm of negative spirituality knows everything. And that brings sovereignty. And makes the realm of negative spirituality to avoid. Because if the realm of negative spirituality do not know anything about the realm of positive spirituality, the realm of negative spirituality will cease to exist. And this is what Satanism fears most. They do not want anything that will stop their existence. Because once their existence is stopped, then they stop functioning. But something that will make them to stop functioning, they must know detail about it and then avoid it. The realm of negative spirituality knows so much to an extent that if the infinity final do a new thing today, they are the first to know. Because even the creator himself is not hiding. He's so powerful to be hiding. Whatever he creates cannot be challenged. So he is always confident of whatever he created. So whatever he creates is there for the realm of the spiritual to see in all dimensions. He is not afraid of what he creates. And he's not afraid that whatever he created should be challenged. He wants you to challenge whatever he has created, and then you see what will happen to you. What makes him as powerful as that? Very simple. Alpha and Omega. He knows the end from the beginning. So when he creates things, he creates them complete. He creates things to be able to stand the test of time, including the environment of spiritualities. He created them to be able to stand the test of time, including to stand the test of spiritualities. That is why it is difficult to challenge what he has created and or to stop what he has created. So whatever he created, he doesn't need to go and hide it so that nobody will see. Whatever he creates is there in the realm of the spiritual for every spirit beings to see it. Whatever he creates is like the declaration of the king. He has declared it. Whoever that wants to challenge it, then you have the king to contend with. So what the realm of negative spirituality we always do is to look around what he has created. If there is any frustration, they can cause. That's all. Now, listen carefully. Frustrating witches that are rich in your generation. This time, don't forget what I had just said. Frustrating witches that are rich in your generation. This time around, we are not talking about your individual person anymore. In other words, poverty and riches is all about generation. Why? Simple. I said this before. Everything that the Creator created are created with potentials. Even animals have their potentials. What are the potentials of animals? Very simple. There is no animal that does not know where, how, and when to survive. That was why I did mention some time ago that some animals, they know the particular time. Who used to tell them? They know the particular time they will migrate from one country to another country just because of survival. Nobody need to tell them. And what do we call that? The how to survive of the animals. So there is the how to survive for human being too. So riches and poverty is a matter of generation. When you are born poor, then you have been reduced to be under. You are born rich, then you have been elevated to be on top. That is what people think life is all about. But it is very important for you to understand there is nobody that was not born rich. I repeat, there is no human being that was not born rich, including the child that suffered miscarriage and the child that was aborted. Everybody predestination cannot clash. It's just like your fingerprints. Everybody fingerprint is different. Everybody is born with a potential. Everybody is born to be rich. Nobody is born to be poor. If you now see poverty, there's something is wrong. It is what is wrong we should talk about. That you are rich does not mean that you cannot be poor, because there is something that makes the people that are poor to be poor. Can also make the person that claim to be rich to be poor. So if there is poverty, there is a cost. Why? Because in the entire creation, from infinity final to the eternity and to the rest of creations, there is no trace of poverty anywhere. It has always been the trace of surplus and surplusity. I said from infinity final to eternity to all other heavens, even to the Garden of Eden, there is no trace of poverty anywhere. As you have read in Genesis chapter 1, chapter 2, about the making of the garden. Yes, the surplus thing that man will live his life by, the thing that was going to sustain man, were already in place before man came. It was not when man came that his need were provided. If it was when man came, then his need were provided. It is called poverty. If what man needed were already there before he was created, it is called riches. When you find yourself as a being or as a human being, only for you to find out that you have to scavenge. You have to scavenge, or you have to look for survivor. It is because your survivor was lost. Otherwise, no one is allowed to cross to the community of any existence without already made provision for survivor. Don't forget, remember what I just said. No one is allowed to cross into the community of existence, any existence, without already made things to survive, including the realm of the spiritual. All the spirit that function in the realm of the spiritual, if the realm of the spiritual was not made conducive, they cannot be there. But every spirit see themselves in the realm of the spiritual. So that is to say, why it is very difficult for the agents of darkness or negative spirituality to defeat the Creator is very simple. Why it is very clear that they can never defeat the Creator, they can never overthrow the Creator, is simply that even the realm of negative spirituality was created by the Creator. In other words, they are occupant of what the Creator created. That was why I said the definition of spirituality is straight. Diversity of spirituality, but only one divinity. So when you say negative spirituality, positive spirituality, good spirit, evil spirit, all are in the realm of the spiritual. Just as you have wicked people living on earth, good people living on earth. It's like that. When you talk about like the universe, a lot of things are in the universe. You are sharing the universe with some other things. Some you know, some you do not know. But all of you are members of the universe. The same thing in the realm of the spiritual. In the realm of the spiritual, in other words, you can say the realm of the spiritual is like the universe. The good spirits are there, the evil spirits are there. And then the good spirits have their location, the evil spirits have their location. That was why I said when people get into the realm of the spiritual or you crash into the realm of the spirit, there are spirits there that will ask you, where are you going? But one thing that is different from the realm of the spirit and the physical is you do not wander too much. Although on earth, if you wander too much, you become a thing of concern to some other human being. You may be called a wanderer. But in the realm of the spiritual, when you wander too much, you are creating attention for yourself, because spirits do not accommodate parasites. It's assumed that every spirit have their location. So you don't need to direct every spirit to their location. Every spirit know their location. So when they enter into the realm of the spirit, they move straight to their location. Now, let me repeat what I said before. I said why it is very difficult for Satan and the power of Satan, Satanism altogether, to defeat the Creator is simply that where the Satan is living, where he is staying to operate, was created by the Creator. In other words, they are tenants of the Creator. What is the evidence to prove? Very simple. That a time shall come that Satan and everything called satanic will be rolled and thrown into hell. So that is to say, where Satan is staying now to operate, somebody own it. It's a tenant. Am I talking to you? It's a tenant in the environment of the Creator. And we have all been notified, or we are all in the know. The quick notice of the Creator to Satan. Satan had been made to know that a time is coming that everything about him will end. He already knew. I mean, that is to say, Satan already have his own quick notice. When you find out that where you are staying is good, and you don't know where you are not comfortable with where you may likely pack to, you become desperate to maintain where you are staying. That is what some tenants do with their landlord. Because somehow the law, the tenant and landlord laws supported the tenant than even the landlord. The tenants and the agreement or what supported the tenants than the landlord. Why is it like that? Very simple. It's a moral law. Simply a moral law. You don't quit somebody when you are not sure where he is going to live after you quit him. If you take your tenant to court because he's occupying your house, you give him time to look for another house. And that is what the court will provide. The court provides that you give him time to look for another house. You cannot just quit him. Otherwise, the court will ask you, how did he enter there? He entered there with your knowledge. You are aware of it. But right now, something is happening that is not making him to cope. Okay, he's no longer coping with the agreement. We know he's no longer coping with the agreement. Can you give him time? Let him look for. That's why they give several notice to a tenant. And you know the way some systems work in the world. You lose in the magistrate's court, you go to high court. You lose in the high court, you go to appeal. You lose in the appeal, you go to Supreme. At the end of the day, the landlord is still losing out. But the other situation that the court will have to give eviction. And even if the court gives eviction, the tenant can also go to court and stop execution of the eviction. And every officer of the law, anything that is already before the court, everybody hands off. But this time around, it may interest you to know that Satan does not have lawyer. I'm trying to search in the realm of the spiritual. Though Satan had already know that he had been given quick notice, it's a matter of time. That where he belongs is hell. And he was already told that where he belongs is not conducive. That is one. Two, where he belongs, there is nobody to manipulate because everybody that enters here, the same suffer. The same suffering. Everybody that enters here is the same suffering. So there is nobody that is a boss. Nobody that is a servant. Nobody is junior. Nobody is a boss. Where Satan was told he will go later. Now, because he knows that he had already been given quick notice in the environment of the heavenly spirituality. So that is, as it were, he's enjoying the serenity of spirituality. That is why he can stay and manipulate people. Of course, if he has other place to go that the creator hand cannot reach, he will be there immediately. Because he wants to do everything to avoid the creator. But then he cannot avoid the creator because he is the creator. As simple as that. Unfortunately, Satan was not the creator. He has never been the creator. He has never created anything. And he will never be able to create anything because it is not in his nature to create anything. Instead, he is a master manipulator. I have said this several times. Now, let's come back to what I was trying to tell you. Maybe that will surprise you. But that is meant to open your eye. I'm not talking about surprise. It is to open your eye. Nobody is created poor. Because there is no example that anybody was created poor. Even all of the religion of the earth, fraternities of the earth, occultism even. Any fraternity, occultism, or religion that is able to talk about the origin of man, you always see something that will make you to know that no man is born poor. Maybe I should say it in the way you understand it better. No man is supposed to be poor. I gave you a very simple analysis. I said, a man supposed to be born into what will make him to survive. Don't ever forget that. A man supposed not to be born and then begin to look for survivor. I repeat, a man supposed not to be born and begin to. When a man is born and then begin to look for a survivor, that is a misnomer. There's a mismatch somewhere. Because I did mention in the book of Genesis, it is clearly written there. Before Adam was created, heaven and earth and everything in the Garden of Eden was in place. The Garden of Eden was in place, everything he needed to eat. There was no other food that was created after Adam was placed in the garden. According to the scripture, there were no other food. There were no other thing that Adam needed. Everything that Adam needed to survive were already there before Adam was created. Then Eve was now brought in the midst of several surplusity. What now made Eve to enter to several surplusity is that Adam plus the survivor that was already available is equal to several surplusity that Eve met. So human beings are born to survive in what is already made for them. If you are born only for you to see that you are struggling to survive, something is wrong. And it is what is wrong that we are now handling. It is what is wrong that we are talking about right here. It is what is wrong that church supposed to be talking about. It is what is wrong that all the prophets that ever came has been talking about. It is what is wrong that even the Messiah himself talked about until he left. It is what is wrong that the eternal spirit is still talking about up to today to address so that you can get it and get out completely from the midst of this thing that is wrong and enter into your survivor. Say, I shall enter my survivor. Don't forget, remember that I said, every man is born rich. When you are born, I repeat, when you are born and you are born into survivor, you are called rich. When you are born and you are born into scavenging, you are called poor. Because you are not supposed to scavenge. What you are doing now, people, is you are scavenging. You go here, look for something. If nothing is there, you look at another place. You go there. That is scavengers. Scavengers, they go to a refuge dump. There are scavengers all over the world. As rich as America, you think America is rich, there are scavengers there. Israel, there are scavengers there. Asia, there are scavengers. Europe, there are scavengers. There is no country in this world you get to that everybody is equal. No. No matter how rich a country is, even Saudi Arabia have scavengers. When you are born and you see yourself scavenging to survive, then you are called poor. What makes you poor? You lack something. Why did you lack something? Something removed something from your life. What happened? You don't know. Now, what was removed from your life, how it will come back, is why you are in church. Is why you are asked to go to church. Is why you are asked to follow the Messiah. Yes. Is how you are. That is why you are asked to listen to the voice of inspiration. That is why they are teaching all kinds of things in church. In case. And the church, by my own observation and experience, they are not teaching the right thing. The church that I have witnessed so far, when I say church, church, anywhere in the world that is called church, use Bible. By my experience, the summary of what I can see in church is trial by error. Even the leaders of churches, they are not even sure what they preach to their congregation. They are not sure. But anyhow, whatever, some of them have been able to gather some human being and they have become very rich and they have become very famous, even if it means their riches is a result of witchcraft manipulation to their member. Well, it doesn't matter. So what now matters is that, well, a scavenger can stumble into anything. That's what it is. And it is very important for you to understand that it is not everything in the refuge dump that are not needed. I repeat, it is not everything in the refuge dump that are not needed. It depends on who get there first. Hello. It depends on the scavenger that got there first. Do you understand me? Tell your neighbor, it depends on the scavenger that got there first. So you get to the refuge dump, everybody is searching, sometimes you will start the whole day, nothing. And you know, some people have actually searched the refuge dump and they found big money. And their life changed forever. That is what is on earth right now. Maybe somebody is able to scavenge more than you. But let me tell you, the scavenger life is not a normal life. In fact, scavenger life is anti-creation. Scavenger life is anti-creation. I don't know why. You are not allowed to scavenge. Because Adam was commanded to tend, to nurse what was already provided. He was not commanded to scavenge. When Adam look at the place, look around, if you see any fruit, plant for yourself. When you grow, eat. If it doesn't grow, stay hungry. That was not what was in the scripture. What was in the scripture? Every food, every fruit, every good thing were planted in the garden for Adam. And he made them. And you know what? When Adam came, the amazing aspect of this matter and in creation was when Adam eventually came, he was not introduced one by one to all the things that makes him to survive. Immediately he came into the garden, he just knew these are the things that will make him to survive. And what was the thing that the Creator did? He did general introduction. Adam, this is the garden. Any fruit is in this garden, you may freely eat. He gave him authority. He gave him dominion. And he does not need to repeat the dominion 2 times. He just told him, I gave you dominion. Be fruitful, multiply. And that was it, just once. Even when the Creator used to come down at the cool of the day, he just wanted to come and find out, how are you doing, man? Just to come and find out. Every morning he comes down, how are you doing, man? How are you doing, my man? That was when the earth is closer to the heaven. Now the heaven is very far. So that was why I said, if Adam, in my previous gospel, I said, if Adam had maintained the garden, the world would have still be what it is now. The only thing that will be minus is there will be no evil, there will be no hunger, there will be no Boko Haram, there will be no Islamic extremists, there will be no cult members, there will be no wicked people, there will be no wicked politicians and witches politicians. Everybody will have been a subject of the Creator. Then there will be no man of God. There will be no prophets. There will be no, Degaya and encounter. Everybody will be able to hear direct from the Creator and obey Him at once. Then there will be nothing like, let's go to heaven. I am walking to go to heaven. There will be nothing like that. Because heaven and the garden were the closest, if you like, continent. Because the heaven is another continent, the earth is another continent. By the way, they were made, the heaven and the earth. And the scripture says, He comes down every day. Not He comes once in a year. Not He comes once in 6 months. Not one in 3 months. Every day, cool of the day, He comes down. That means the heaven a continent, the earth a continent, they are the closest. So if the Creator can come down at the cool of the day, what are you thinking really? What I want you to think is this. Time will have come when Adam himself will be able to go to the heaven where the Creator comes down from to tell you, how you, my Creator. So he doesn't need to do extra thing to enter heaven because he is living in the extension of the heaven. Did I say something to somebody? Adam, he was living in the extensions of the heaven. He does not need to go to heaven because there is nothing as far as is concerned where he is. Where he is even better than the heaven. How? Heaven, nobody will eat mango there. You go to heaven, there's no food there. The only thing is that immediately Adam enter heaven, he will not be hungry until he get out. That's a different thing. That was some time ago in the gospel when I tried to do comparison between angel and man. This is the jealousy between angel and man. There are things, some angel things that you are enjoying, which they cannot enjoy, which they don't even know how to enjoy. So for them, it is an enjoyment. Enjoyment of a man marrying a wife and they are living together. Angel, that is a big deal to an angel. Because angel can never do that. That is the biggest jealousy to angel. That a man is marrying another person and they are living together. Before you know it, they are producing another human being. That is the biggest jealousy. Angel can never do that. Big jealousy. Now, that a man will cook food and eat, that a man will pluck fruit and eat. Angel cannot do that, but that is a big jealousy. Say, My friend, don't think that the heaven you want to go, many of you like mango. There will be no mango there. Some of you like orange, like guava. Some, if you don't give them pineapple, they will faint. But my wife don't like pineapple. If you want to put her off, give her pineapple. Then she will stay away from you. So we see that is human being. This person like this one, this other person like this one. But then whatever you like, because I know there are people that them and pineapple don't separate. Or mango or orange. But so many fruits all over the place. Things that are there that you eat, they are nice and nicely created, nicely put there, and they call them natural. Now in the scientific ages, they call them organic. The first human being that ever eaten organic thing was Adam. So that is to say, he doesn't even need medicine. His food was his medicine. He will not even have headache because he's eating original orange. He doesn't need to go and go to chemist and be buying vitamin C. He's taking original mango. If he wants his mouth to be bitter, there is bitter leaf there. Now, why am I saying this? This is what angels don't have. And the Creator made it in such a way that once you step into heaven, you forget food. Hello? I show you mystery of life. You will not even know that food exists. Why is the angel jealous? Because they used to come around among men all the time. They see you chopping things, and what you are chopping, they can't chop. They want to find out what is it you are chopping. Even if they want to chop, it will not be sweet in their mouth. Because when you are being created, you are created specially. And you are given a soul so that you are able to enjoy this thing. You are a new creation reality. Something that had never existed before in the history of creation is who you are. So everything that will make you to survive, since your Creator is Alpha and the Omega, everything that will make you to survive, He had already created it before you came into the realm of consciousness. You just woke up and everything was surplus. But this is not what is happening right now on earth. Everybody is a scavenger. From the womb, a child begins to become a scavenger. He was born, the child will be born into a scavenging life. The child maybe would think that life is all about bed or roses. He doesn't know that he has a superhuman somewhere as mother. He has a superhuman somewhere as father that are scavenging up and down and bringing food. Until he grows, I now find out that, wow, what is it? Now life be this. Before he will now join scavenging properly. And begin to hustle. Begin to hustle with the mother. And begin to hustle with the father. Why is it that everybody on earth looks like a scavenger? Or as it were, a scavenger? Because something that you should be had been removed from your life without your knowledge. And what you must be, something that removed your survivor before you came into the consciousness is called witchcraft. Your future was bewitched before you were born. So as at the time you were born, something that would have made you to survive, you did not meet it. You only see yourself to become a scavenger. All of a sudden, you grow up to become a scavenger. As what will I make you to survive, you didn't meet it. You didn't meet anything. You didn't meet anything. What you met was poverty. And of course, once there is a poverty, automatic, you become a scavenger. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully is what I said. It is very easy to know that you are born into poverty, apart from the physical thing that you see. But what you did not know is what made you poor. It is very important to also know what made you poor is not far from your family. It's not far from your generation. What makes you poor did not come from the sky and hit on your head. No. What makes you poor is not far from your generation. Because from where you are coming from, you are not created poor. You are created with potential. You are not created poor. And in the environment where you are created is the environment of surplus. And then when we now talk about the anatomy of man, anatomy of human being, you dissect human body. Then you now look at the treasure that was packed together. This thing that was packed together that now later become a man or woman is not cheap. They are not cheap. That was why I told you some time ago in the gospel that even science that have come to begin to study man, when they dissect or when they cut a human being open, it is always very difficult. Except now that I'm using lesser guided equipment to do operation. And then there is not every operation you use lesser. Anyway, up to now, there are some operations that you must cut open. So what I was saying is, when you cut open, you cut human being open. As I tell you are cutting, everything was intact. Everything will be intact. Any part of human being that you are cutting, everywhere is smooth. And by the time you are sewing it back, by the time you are suturing it back, only for you to find out that it cannot be the way it was when you are cutting it. My question is, if you are not packed with the treasure of life and everything about you was made perfect, why is it like that? Everything about you is intact until something cut. I told you about astronaut. The thing that surprised him most in the space. When he said he looked at the space. He looked at the way things were arranged. And all of these things that were arranged were actually floating. And some of these planets that were floating, some of them are bigger than the whole earth. And they are not crash landing. And he just said to himself, who did this? Somebody must be responsible for this. And that is the person they are looking for. They are looking for the person that organized everything like this in the space. Everything is well arranged. And they are also taking their time. Because if you think that you can enter the space with a machine, they don't respect machine. No. Machine is toy. Over there, machine is toy. So they make sure they guide their machine. Every machine that is up there in the space is being guided from NASA. Otherwise, when machine is, I said that is the worst thing is an astronaut fears. Astronaut fear their rockets being deorbited. When a particular shuttle is deorbited, just go and mourn. For something to be deorbited means it got lost in the space. They can't find it again. It's just somewhere. They can't trace it. And when anything gets lost there, it's lost. Because the place is so vast. Okay. The science said the place is so vast. What makes them think that one day they are going to crash into somebody that did this? What am I telling you right now? I am removing poverty mentality from your life, and I must remove it. Because every time when we ask you to do something, the first thing that will come to your mind, I cannot. Who told you you cannot? You will always tell yourself that you cannot because you are a scavenger and you don't want to get out from the life of a scavenger. When Adam was in the garden, I'm not aware he's afraid of who eats that fruit. I kept this fruit here, who ate it? Because it's in plenty. It's over the place. It is when there is poverty, you'll be stingy. He said when there is poverty, you'll be hiding food. I am not aware that even Adam and all the animals in the garden with him, including Eve, I am not aware they quarrel over food. Because right now in your house, you are struggling your food with your dog. If you keep your food carelessly and the food has good aroma, by the time you come back, your dog has finished it. You see, you are struggling the same food with your dog. Everything is scavenging. By fire, by force, I bring you out of scavenging life. Because when you are a scavenger, you hoard what you scavenge. Because you don't know whether you will see it again. I told you, it's not everybody that go to the refuge dump that sees something. Sometimes you can search the whole day, a whole week, a whole month, nothing. It's only once in a while we hear that, oh, somebody saw big money in the refuge dump. It's not common. If it is common, we should all go there. Hallelujah. I will not allow you to go home today until I try to let the cat out of the bag. That's when you, let me repeat what I said before. When you are born and everything that will make you to survive are already in place, you are called rich. And then you are born and you find out that you have to look for what you eat to survive, then you are poor. Hello. It is also very important for you to know that there is no single human being that is not a scavenger, including all of the Dangotes, or $10, all of the Microsoft that you want to be like. All of them are scavenger. That is why all of them are in Ancestral. They want to snatch what you have and add it to their own. Because they don't know who they are. But they have no one thing. And they are expert of it. They know how to get from somebody and add it to their own. They know how to use witchcraft to blank your brain. And make you to be follow. And make you to be under always. And they will be on top always. They will use, it's a witchcraft. They will use that witchcraft. And you will have this anticipation. Oh, one day this man will help me. One day this man will help me. One day this man, you are getting old. He's using you. You are getting old. I told you before that it doesn't take too much to help anybody. By my own experience. It doesn't take much. And I gave you a typical example on when I was unbeliever. Very typical example. And there are several of them. But the so-called rich man just put you there. Once in a while, he give you chewing gum. Once in a while, he give you granite. And he already calculated when you are going to finish the granite he gave you. And he'll be expecting your call. Why won't you just help you at once? And some of you, you'll be dancing and shaking your ass because the rich man introduced you to be a messenger somewhere. Is that a walk? That is not walk. I'm talking about bringing a driver. You heard what I said the other time in the gospel? Bringing a driver to the level of a car dealer. That's somebody who wants to help. That is somebody who wants to help. I mean, he want to pay you for your loyalty. He want to pay you for your service. Not in Africa where you are being wasted for your loyalty, where you are being wasted for your service. Not in Nigeria where you are being wasted, but they want you to be loyal to Nigeria. They want to be loyal to Nigeria. They want to be loyal to pay allegiance to Nigeria. But Nigeria is wasting you. You want to move out somewhere where your life will be better. They will go and tell embassy not to give you visa. If it is not witchcraft, tell me what is that? You are wasting somebody and you don't want him to run. That was why I told you that those days that we go to Israel and they will tell us to look after some people, and when some youth run away. Yes, I know how to catch them. There's no how you will run in Israel and I won't know how to catch you. We know how to catch them. But I think I have brain. My question is, if where they are coming from is good, would they run? So if I catch them now, catch them, bring them to Nigeria, and they be living with me in my house? If I bring them to my house, won't they become a burden? The only thing I can do is wish them good luck. But my advice, let them not commit crime. Because every country have their law against any crime anybody commits. But if it is just all about survival, I do not know the conscience I am going to put that. When somebody is running to survive and I am bringing him back to waste, I don't have that conscience. Because loyalty. Their father have been loyal to civil servant and they have wasted and they are not paying them gratuity or one stupid thing they used to promise them there. The father is wasted and it's look like what waste your father is coming too close. Maybe he was loyal to his country and his country wasted him. By the time they retire you and throw you away to your village, who are you going to be talking to? You'll be talking to yourself and some of the sicknesses that will be coming. All of those things that promise you, you are far from them. You are far, very far from them. And now if you want to collect some stupidity, they promise you, you must come with your first employment letter, you must come with your ID card, now you must come with your NIN, you must come with a driver license, you must come with voter's card. I mean, carry bag of identity. And all must be complete. And then you come for what is called verification. You now see, they are making you a senior scavenger. If you're the senior scavenger, how will 70 year, 80 year go and line up, and by the time they line up, it's only 20 naira. What? 20 naira. Because they will remove this, remove that, remove this, remove that. At the end of the day, nothing. Somebody is 80 years, is still scavenging. And that is, if you care, that is what I want to bring you out. Amen. And you must come out. I have the grace that will make you to come out. Did you hear me say that? I have the grace that will make you to come out. It is you that should not abuse the grace. Because if you abuse the grace, you enter your scavenging. It's as simple as that. You abuse the grace, you enter your scavenging. Everything the maker is going to truthfully do with a man, he will show you surplusity. He won't show you scavenging. Go back and read the statement of the encounter and find out if there is anything that look. In fact, one of the statements says, I am not calling you into the ministry of begging. And now I am almost 30 years preaching and never beg anybody. And it's like he's paining some people. Who cares? Who cares? Do you see me care? I don't care. Oh, he's paining you? But I'm not going about looking for anointing. He's paining you? I'm not going about looking for money to survive. Let it not pain you. The survivor is in my calling. It's as simple as that. David says, since I was born, now I'm old. I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor their children. So that I have gone beyond the level of somebody that will scavenge again, except I am telling lie that I met the Creator. It's very easy to know who is telling lie. Just be patient. You will soon know that he's a liar. Future is the best analyzer of the truth. But right now, we are in the future. It is now very clear that the guy is saying the truth. Because the future is becoming 30 years, you know. And he has not changed the gospel. Instead, he's going higher. He has not changed the gospel. Instead, he's going higher. He's going from one height to another height. One honor to another honor. One anointing to another anointing. Because he's called. And he didn't call himself. When some people are thinking, oh, we don't want him, we don't want him, we don't want to associate with him. Okay, do I even know you? We don't want him, we don't want him, we don't like what he's saying. Do you need to like what I'm saying? Go to where you like and waste there. One man told me that's why I don't go to some church. He said once you enter church, the preacher will change the message. And turn the message to songs of praise. They won't preach gospel again because they want to praise the big man so that he will bring big money. Me, I'm looking for who will come and intimidate with money, and I will throw you out. Use you as a typical example. So you don't come and intimidate me with money. There's no kind of money I have not seen in my lifetime. It is from these things I was converted from. So I've gone beyond that level. I am now functioning in the anointing of something that is more than David one. I'm not saying the righteous forsaken nor their children begging bread. I've reached a stage whereby before my child is given birth to, somebody is already saying, can you bring them to this country or whatever. Even the last time I went to England, the people there thought that my wife read science. Will you bring your wife to UK so that come and finish her school? I said, you didn't even ask me what she read. Ask me for what she read. They are not talking about how will school fees be paid. No. Just bring her. The last time I went to UK, Now, this is the same thing that should be happening to you. You and you. Anywhere you are located. Once you associate with Degaya, there should be automatic way making. Or who will you resemble? There is great and effectual door that is open before you, but you are too idle for my liking. You are too lousy for my liking. The things are good things are coming and passing you by, and you are there smiling and wasting. If that is wisdom, then you get it. That life has always been from the beginning, the way the Creator intended it to be was simply that when you are born into riches. If you don't want me to call it survivor again, you are born into survivor. What will make you to survive? They are there. But that was not what you are born into. You are born into scavenging. That's why you are jealousing people. Even the jealousy is right there in your family. Your senior brother wants you to be under him. He doesn't want you to be richer than him. When you by any means marry before your senior sister, you have entered trouble. Even after you escape to marry, if you now begin to give birth to a child, you enter bigger trouble. Even when you are not at enmity with anybody, they will just feel that you'll be proud that you marry before them. You'll be proud that you have children before them. You'll be proud that maybe you marry a so-called rich husband. And these are supposed to be your relation. Maybe the same father, maybe the same mother. You will know there is a witchcraft, dangerous jealousy hiding somewhere. And all of you are there smiling together. You don't know there is a witch hiding somewhere around your house. So don't you think that kind of person, that kind of hiding witch that is hiding in your family, when some good thing is coming to you, you say, that's not need. Because they believe that when this good thing comes, you'll be bigger than what they already know, because as far as they are concerned, they think they cannot reach where you have reached. How? How? Why? The scavenging life have destroyed their brain. Witchcraft have taken over them, whether deliberately or because some of them, they may decide to go and join witchcraft deliberate, and some of them are ignorant winch. And right there, they're hiding your family. That is not what I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about right now, among the eye-opening I have just given you today, is this. One, listen very carefully. If you are born to know your father, maybe good. If you don't know your father, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you know somebody hanging around you. Maybe if you are born to know your grandfather, better for me, and your grandfather is able to remember to tell you some story, good. In the previous gospel, I made mention of something in passing that I want to repeat right now and make something out of it so that you'll be able to get it. I said that you are poor today. There was a rich man. That was what I said. There was a rich man in your generation before. It may be second generation, third generation, fourth generation from you. So if we calculated from you, we calculated 10,000 years backward, you are a relation of that person. I didn't say 2,000 years. I didn't say 3,000 years. I did not even say 5,000 years. I say when we count from you 10,000 years backward, any man, any woman we found somewhere in one bush that you see 10,000 years ago, that person, you may not know him, but you carry the blood of that person. So if they are able to find that person right now and they take the sample of his hair, of his teeth, and maybe if they are able to, which is impossible, if they are able to find the sample of his blood, if they sample his blood with your own, it will match. If they check the DNA of both of you, it will match. Somebody that relates with you, somebody that is your relation 10,000 years ago, you see. And man, surely you are completely oblivion of this thing I am talking about. There is no how you are able to trace yourself 10,000 years ago. Some of you don't even know your grandfather. But let me tell you, there's something that is good in creation. There is history that is passed from children to children, children to children, children to children. And that was why he told Joshua, and this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, because it must pass from generation to generation. Now listen to me. I said that this poverty, if you find that you are not born into what will make you to survive, and all of a sudden you find out that you are a scavenger. Very simple. There was a rich man somewhere in your generation that introduced all of you to the witchcraft of poverty. You may know the person, you may not know the person, it does not matter, because witch is ancient. So whatever that the witch capture is also ancient. It will be there in the ancient time. The poverty will be there in the ancient time. That is going to be, that means it will be poverty to poverty to poverty from one generation to another generation. Why? There was a rich man somewhere that was your relation. Who used his own witchcraft to gather the stars of the born and the unborn. And use it to shine. And then there's poverty. And then everybody is born into poverty. You're born struggling. You want to go to school, you go to school struggling. Before you finish, you will see pepper. If you did not go to school and you want to go and learn work, you will learn work, you will see pepper. That is if your guy will not be a winch back. That will promise you one thing and he will not give you. Or he will give you finish. And you are stupid not to watch your back. Because I told you. And I am not changing it. It was not a slip of tongue. And if the rich men are thinking that I have exposed them, so be it. If a rich man promises you anything and he eventually give it to you, watch your back, my friend. Watch your back, my friend. Because something that is dangerous than you may be trailing you. Something that will make you ever to regret. Why did you know this person? That is if they promise you and give you. Not talk about the one that will say, they will. But you are wasting. One day, they will just cut you off. They have a way of cutting you off. They have a way of cutting you off. But you, scavenger, how do you call it? It's either you are in that refugee dump today or the other time you are in that refugee dump. You can't cut anybody off. Because if you don't scavenge, you can't survive. They already know your lifestyle. But for them, you cannot understand them. If they say they are coming, they are going. When you are seeing them coming too close, watch. They are looking for something. They are looking for something. And if you have what they are looking for, be wise, be cautious. If you want to give it, as you are giving it, be cautious. But do not give them information about yourself too much. Do not give them information about your family too much. That will go and ridicule your generation. A rich man that wants to help you will not even ask you what is your name. They will not ask you. They don't need to know your family. All they know is they want to make you from who they are. They don't need to ask you, write this or write that. They only say, well, if I give you this, can you make something out of it? Make sure you make something out of it. Now let's advance. How to know that riches was removed from your generation before you were born? That now makes you to be born into a scavenging life. Very simple. Because the signs are there. That is why it is called astropetaphysical. That physical is very important. Astropetaphysical. You are being tormented from the astral, but the torment is physical. The torment is not abstract. You are being tormented from the unknown kingdom, from the unknown. That is astral for you. When you hear astral, that is the meaning. You are from the unknown. You are being tormented from the unknown. But the torment is not astral. It is physical. It will be physically seen in your life that you are suffering. That's why it's called Astropeta 999 physical. Okay. When you are born, I don't want to go into, because it's going to waste my time, maybe another time. I don't want to go into, even if you are born into survivor, you are born into something that will make you to survive already. I say, you are born into something that will make you to survive already does not mean that you cannot be poor. Because there is that which makes the person that is poor to be poor, can also make the person that was born into survivor to go back to poverty. It's like poverty is always a destination waiting for the ignorant. It seems that poverty is always a destination waiting for the ignorant. As there are so many things and people on earth, you don't need to offend them before they will hit you. There are so many of them in your generation. You are even born to know some of them in your family. You are born to know some of them. There are people that hate you. You don't know why they hate you. People hate your family. They hate your father. They hate your mother. You don't know why. And when you try to ask your father, why this person hate us, they can't tell you anything tangible. And what brings this hatred may be some kind of trivial thing that does not make sense. Oh, because the child, when they have farm, and the child used to have bumper harvest. That is enough. Because somebody will say, if this boy is having bumper harvest, if this girl is succeeding like this, that means she will come back and begin to oppress my own family. So it's either it's going to be between your father and his brothers and sisters, or between your own siblings, you're the same mother, the same father, and all of that. But if you look somewhere, there's always an Adolf Hitler in your family. They want to kill everybody, and only them will survive. Maybe only them and their children. Why they stampede everybody? Okay, now listen very carefully. When you are born and you find out that you are not born into survivor, you are born into a scavenging life by what I have just explained today in this gospel. How to know that it was witchcraft that was used to remove your survivor, and everybody in that generation resume poverty. Very simple. Listen very carefully. Did you hear a story from your mother or from your father? Or from anybody that is like old in your family that know the stories of the family? Was there any father, one, listen very carefully, was there any father, any man in your generation that is of course blood relation to you? I have just told you, count from you 10,000 years backward. Surely we are going to see one human being there. And the human being we see there, when we take sample from them, your DNA and their DNA will be the same. I don't know whether I told you one story before. The story of a man in America. I know him. He told me the story. He was in America walking, no rest. Walking, scavenging. And he was walking and keeping dollars and then sending some to Nigeria with the mind of, there are some of these regular human beings in America and some of these countries that you can hardly control it anyway. They will keep a wife in Nigeria and they will marry another one in America, either to have a green card or whatever. And the one in Nigeria will not know. The one in Nigeria will not, maybe with her children, will not know that the husband has married in America. For whatever reason, that's their business. Now, okay, this man was only facing his work, walking for several years until he got resident permit. From resident permit, he became a citizen, keeping money and then sending money home. As at the time when by the time he comes to Nigeria once in a while. So between all of this, going back and front to Nigeria, somehow there was about 3 or 4 children with the wife in Nigeria. So after he has gotten all the documents in America, he now wants to bring his wife. When he left for America, there was no children. But because of it coming and going once in a while, once in a blue moon, and in America, they won't give you holiday more than 2 weeks. In the whole entire year. So maybe that was when those children came in or whatever. But then the man will soon find out. Also, the man with happiness, say, okay, now I have become citizen of America. I can now bring on my wife and my children, so-called, to America. And America have a policy. If you want to bring your family to America as a citizen, no problem. They don't have any problem with that. As long as you can prove that this is your wife indeed, and these are your children. These are all your children indeed. And America have their hospital where they do DNA test. And that is part of the filing. They went and they have to do DNA tests of all those children and sample it with this bag. And that is normal. Or that's what is done in America before they can now issue permanent residence to the woman and the children. And later, they will get their residence when they enter. The man said, Bishop, I nearly died. In fact, seeing you and meeting you was one of the things that revived me. Because I am already dying. That he cannot, in his widest imagination, that the human being can be wicked to this extent. He said, he go to Nigeria. And they will pack all of them, wife, children, to the embassy. So that they can process the paper. And then all of them will come and meet him in America, and they will be living their life for his hard work over the years in America. And even keeping himself. Well, no money another person. He said, Bishop, only for us to go, because they give us appointments 1 or 2 times. They came, the first time they went, they took the sample of all of them. And they asked them to come back, other in 2 weeks' time. And then he said, when we went back, only for us to be sitting down in the American embassy. And then the person that spoke said, I'm sorry, we did the DNA test of you, your wife, and these children. We are sorry to say to you that 99.9% proof that these children are not your children. And you cannot enter into America with another person's children. That is crime. 99.9% that these children, I mean all 4 children, are not your children. The man said, how do you mean? They will explain again. I explain again. The man said, Bishop, you know what happened to me? I freeze. I mean, as they put me in cold room and I become ice block. I freeze. He said, you know what? I did not know when I got up from that office and walked out and left all of them there. Left the woman and those children there. He said, I walked out. It was the following day. I got the next tickets and came back to America. And now I am looking for a wife. And he now said to me, Bishop, who can we trust in this life? Okay. You see what I have just explained now? Matching your blood sample with another person's blood sample, that is your relation, 10,000, one thing about DNA, does not expire. DNA does not expire. There's nothing like, oh, because it's taking so long, we are not able to know. No. That is one thing that is wonderful about the Creator. Man is so important that there is always an evidence. That even when a man is dead and gone, he will still leave evidence of himself back. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Even when he has died and dead and gone. That is something that is mysterious about human being. Now listen. Living on the reality of this mystery, if you have ever heard as a story, you have a different way of hearing story in your family, that somebody, one, died from farm while coming home. Whether he was killed, he was ambushed, he fall and die without nobody touching him, does not matter. What killed him does not matter. When we are talking about spirit of destruction and all of that, we said if you have a relation that had ever been killed with a gun or with a machete, that's a different thing. I'm sorry, just die. Because he went to farm and he was coming back. It was common. It's common in virtually everybody's generation. That is one. Two, but the most common one is, do you have a family member? That is why poverty is everywhere. Do you ever have a family member that is traced to your generation that ever died in war front? War front. You know what that is? There's too many wars those days. Too many wars. You have somebody that died in war front. Don't forget, people go to war because they want to liberate their village. People go to war because they want their village to be bigger. So that is, they go to war because they want their village to be richer. So that they will be controlled villages. That's why people go to war. So you have a family, a man, woman, that you heard was directly involved in a battlefield and died. He went to war and he did not come back with order. Very simple. If you have ever heard that story before in your family, the poverty in your family now, it indicates that witchcraft is what remove your riches. I have mentioned 2 things now. You have a family that died while coming back from farm, whether man or woman. It doesn't need to be man. Whether man, woman, boy, or girl. I have mentioned two things: battlefield and farm. Or have you ever been told of a story of somebody in your generation that just moved out from the house, and now we are in the 21st century and they have not found him? That means no dead body, no corpse, no evidence of what happened to him. We are in the 21st century. And you are told a story that this person never returned. Whether boy or girl or man or woman. Have you ever been told such story? If you have such story in your family, simple. That is how you will now know that what is responsible for poverty in your family is witchcraft. That's how you will know. Because there may be such things. There may be poverty in the family, in the generation. But how to know what is responsible is the difficulty now. So how to know is what I am telling you now. What is responsible for the poverty that now makes everybody in your entire generation to be a scavenger? Everything is down, 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 or up, down, up, down, up, down. Maybe this one will rise as if someone is going to make it before you know he crash and you don't hear anything again. Somebody rise as if he's going to make it, he crash and you never hear about him again. I have said about 30 now. Somebody go to war, die there. Somebody go to farm, die there. Somebody walk on, say maybe possible, greet everybody, goodbye. That means his coming back will be good. Only for him to go, but this is 21st century, he has not returned. Very simple. This is how to know that a witchcraft, somebody in that family had removed the survivor of that generation with the power of witchcraft. Therefore, everybody in that generation will be poor, whether you like to hear it or not. Everybody in that family will be a scavenger. But how to begin to fight it is first of all know what happened. That's what I'm telling you right now. That you are not able to figure out. So you are the one that will now go and conduct investigation or bring yourself to remembrance. Have you ever heard such a story in your family before? Then you will now know what is responsible. I made mention of something before I started today. I said, if we have our way, if you have my time and I have your time, as sensitive as the topic we are discussing is, we should be able to make room for question and answer. And that will make me to be able to clear you of some certain things that may have happened in your family so that you can address some certain things. Because if you don't address those things, your life will remain the way you don't like it. That is sure. And I believe your mind must have gone out of what will be, because I have told you what will be cannot be until somebody make it to be. Don't ever believe, oh, well, it's a matter of time, everything will be okay, everything okay. Yeah, okay? Look back. Has everything ever been okay? It was not okay with them. And you are being told it to be okay with you. And the wastage is coming too close to you. It's coming too close to you. I don't want you to join those that waste. And I want you to be a distinction. And you must be a distinction. Amen. Say, I must be a distinction. I don't care about your age. I don't even care what you do. I don't care about whether you sell the back of wood for to survive. I mean, scavenger. Whether you are a scavenger to survive, I don't want to bother myself. Because, you see, to be able to switch a man, listen to me very carefully, to be able to switch a man from poverty to riches is not more than 1 second. It doesn't take more than, it doesn't take up to 24 hours, it doesn't take up to 1 day, it doesn't take up to 1 week, it doesn't take up to 1 year. It's just just 1 second. Simple. Just a pronouncement will change your life forever. And you see your life from poverty to riches. That is what the scriptures say. When the captivity of Zion is turned around, it will be like, they will be like them that dream dreams, because it will never cross your imagination, your widest imagination, that from what you know about yourself, everything can just switch like that. You won't believe it. You will even doubt yourself whether you are the one. That is how close you are to survivor. That is how close you are to riches. So riches is not about, I wake up in the morning, kitty. That is not what brings riches. That is part of the scavenging, my friend. That's what brings, that's scavenging, my friend. That's scavenging, my friend. Because I am not aware Adam did that. Whether he go out in the morning or not, food is everywhere. So he choose when to go out. Hello! Tell somebody, wake up! Wake up! When you are born into survival. That's why some people they don't want to joke with whatever thing they have scavenged. Because they know they got it through sweating and blood. and then you are now seeing them rich, but as far as they are concerned, their pocket is very tight. Because they will say, do you know what I suffer? Before you are now coming here, you are your own. Instead, I will get what I can find in your life and add it to my own, because before I can get what is in my pocket. What is in my pocket? I have tied it with a chain, with a rope, put several padlock. That's when you say somebody have tight pocket. The pocket is very tight. So they use what they have for themselves and themselves only. Because they know what they suffer before they are able to get it, and they are in this consciousness every time. So instead of them to let out what they have, they would rather get what they have or what you have. And in case they want to give you anything, just peanut. And as they are giving you peanut, they are only investigating you whether there is something they can get from you. They want you to relax and give them what you have, so that they will add it to their own. There was something I mentioned just now. I said to switch a man from poverty to riches. Just 1 second. Not this struggling thing that you are talking about. It is more difficult to maintain riches. I don't want to talk about that. It is more difficult to maintain riches than to switch from poverty to riches. That's to say, you are born into survival. It is very difficult to maintain survival than switching from poverty to riches. Because switching from poverty to riches doesn't take time. When there is every indication that you are done with poverty, as you will be done with poverty today, and that you and poverty will not be any neighbor anymore. I have spoken it. When it is clear that you are done with poverty, that doesn't matter how awkward everything around you is. What matters right now in the realm of the spiritual is there is a switch. Can you say there is a switch? Just switch, boom, from poverty to riches. And that's it. So it is when you now enter riches, you now begin to learn how to maintain your riches. It is more difficult to learn to maintain riches than to switch from poverty to riches. That is what I want you to understand. So I want you to understand that all of these working kitty does not make you rich. It will only make you to be a scavenger to survive for the now. But when it is clear that you are done with poverty, it will be a switch. Can somebody say it will be a switch? It will be a switch. Just a switch. Just something. One thing that will just happen. Just one thing. And that's it. You are done with poverty. And that is the thing I want it to happen fast in your life. Am I talking to somebody? I want it to happen fast in your life. Sometimes, somewhere in your life, somebody that's around you, hang around you, I want you to be one of the people that will testify on earth of this switch. If I were you, I will begin to learn to be a rich man, so that when you become rich, you will not misbehave. That is very important. Don't forget, having it at the back of your mind that I said, it is more difficult to maintain riches than to switch from poverty to riches. So that is to say, it is easier to switch from poverty to riches than to maintain riches. Because it is easy for a rich man to become poor. That which made the poor man to be poor is also pursuing the rich man. So that is what you should understand. I will mention the last one. Then I will close for today. I have mentioned battlefield, how you will know that witchcraft is responsible for the poverty in your family if you are able to hear such a story in your family. And if you are not able to hear such a story, what will make us to know? Well, unfortunately, in the Holy Ghost stand, maybe you don't have my time, I don't have your time, we are not doing it anymore. If you are not able to hear that story from anybody in your family, because some of you just grow and you just grow by yourself. No father that will tell you any story, no mother that is telling you any story, nothing, everybody. You just grow and grow by yourself. So you grow at the mercies of revelation. So the only way we can know is to analyze the spirituality of your person. In other words, interpret your dreams, interpret your vision. Then we'll be able to know, okay, look at what is responsible for the poverty in your generation. I'm not talking about individual riches. If you are rich as a person and others are poor in your family, there is no rich. Because a rich man in the midst of poor people, all of them are poor. So I am talking about generational riches. I'm talking about poverty that will stop at your own time. So that your own children and children, when you sit down and begin to tell the story of your own lineage, they will be surprised. I say, Mommy, why are we so rich and they are so poor? May you remember to tell them there was a switch. May you remember to tell them that there was a switch. This is what I want to establish. Establishing the truth that poverty can stop in your own time. That you can enter into your survival now as long as the survival you enter is generational one. I'm not talking about stinging one. I'm talking about generational survivor. So if you enter into generation survivor, you will settle your senior brother, you will settle your junior brother, you will settle your sisters, you will settle the sisters of your mother, you will settle the brothers of your father, you will keep settling all of them, and you will still remain rich. Receive it! By so doing, you and your own children and children are already enjoying the switch. That means it will be clearly and boldly written and engraven in the realm of the divine spirituality that it was your own time. They will write your name boldly there, that it was your own time. The scavenging life stopped in the generation of these people. I want you to make that name. Am I talking to somebody? I want you to make that name. Say, I will make that name. Number 4. If you have ever heard a story, we are only saying you hear it from a story, because it's possible for you to hear it as a story. But if you have not heard it as a story, what will make us to know? Somehow we have stopped. Because, you see, this interpreting dreams, you don't know what you are missing. You do not know what you are missing until you lose Degaya. Underline, lose. Capital letter. Maybe when you now read what has happened in the past and you compare it with what has happened in the scripture, you will now begin to know the importance of Degaya. But it's a sign. It has just passed. And somebody did not read it well. So the sign passes. The worst thing that can happen is for a sign to pass around the careless people. Careless people who ignore reality and they are chasing shadow. When there is indications of reality everywhere. And the witchcraft that is trailing them is pursuing them from reality. I've just mentioned 2 things to you. I say this is the only way you can know. It is witchcraft. And it is the witchcraft of Astro Peter. That means somebody consulted the witchcraft of Astro Peter in that generation and blocked riches. And the only way to know, if you have heard the story, these 3 stories I have just told you, that's the only way to know. Then that will now make you to know what to fight. But before you can fight, think about Colossians chapter 2, verse 10, and even 14. You must be complete in him, who is the head of all principalities and power. Because if you are not complete in him, any child that asks what killed his father will eventually kill him too. I'm sure you have heard that before. A child comes to ask, what killed my father? What killed your father may eventually kill you if you did not prepare yourself. Because there are some things you don't confront with empty hand. We have just heard principalities and power there, Colossians chapter 2, verse 10. You don't go and confront principalities and power with empty hand. They will use you as tomato, as pepper soup. You don't even need to open your mouth before they know that you are empty, because once they see you, they know that you are not filled. You are not filled. Reality is not filling you. You are empty. Everywhere is porous. But when you are complete, you are packed full with the reality of salvation, with the benefit of divine spirituality. So when principalities and powers see you, they will be running before you start speaking. You don't need to introduce yourself. They already know you. And in fact, if you want them to introduce you, they will introduce you to you. If there's anything like that. Because whatever thing that is existing in the realm of the spiritual is not hidden. Number 4. If you have heard a story of any of your relations died in the market, died inside market, that's a problem. See, it takes only one person. It doesn't need to be 20 people, 3 people, 4 people, just one. And this person is your blood relation. Now, this person that died is not the wincho, but it is an indication what is trailing that generation. But in most cases, many people don't know. They will leave it lying low, and people will be suffering from devastating poverty. The poverty will last until the earth end. Because everything about witchcraft is ancient. When the poverty of an individual is introduced to the ancient, then it will be ancient poverty. That means it's either going to be down, down, down for everybody in that generation, or rise, crash, rise, fall, rise, fall. Oh, it looks as if, oh, this person want to make it. He struggled to build one house. He struggled to build 2 houses. He struggled to buy a car. He owns some company. Before you know it, everything start closing down. Everything start closing down. Everything start closing down. I'm sure you have heard about the name Abiola before. Compare the name Abiola with what I'm saying right now. Abiola before, shaking Nigeria. Where is Concord newspaper? I'm sure you know Abiola owns aircraft before that flies the whole Nigeria. Do you see here about any aircraft that owns by Abiola or Abiola family? Where are the chains of companies? Typical example. Yeah, this person is rich. That does not mean no. The person that is rich can become poor. And there will be no difference between him and the people that are already poor. And as it is, this name that I had just mentioned now, the only benefit they have right now, which is not making bringing any result anyway, is just the name. When you hear the name will ring bell, but it's not giving anything. The name will ring bell, but the ringing bell is just a disturbance. Because if Abiola children were to make it like their father, I don't think that the Abiola daughter will go and be the DG of a governor of Kogi State. It's the Abiola daughter that is the DG of the governor of Kogi State, the one that is running the campaign. Do you know what it means to run campaign? It's not easy, and never an easy thing. Someone that is very busy cannot do that work. If she was busy in whatever thing the father had made, would she have that time really? Which any of the Dangote children you can want to be DG of your... They are so busy, man. They don't have your time. Let he that have ear hear what I have just said. And if you are able to hear and make use of it, it is for your own benefit. And not just for your benefit, the benefit of your generation. It does not matter whether you are a boy. This now, there is nothing like gender there. We are talking about generation. We are talking about DNA. DNA of a woman, DNA of a man is the same DNA of a generation. So there is no gender there. So what matters is, Let it be that it was through this person poverty stopped. That's it. And I insist, I want you to be that person. I want you to be that person. Hallelujah. Stand up. Now hear me, everybody. You are able to hear, I was able to tell you the proper time to address Coven black witches and the time to address Coven red witches. The proper time to address Astro Petaphysical 999 is early in the morning. And there is a reason for that. Don't forget, you address one midnight, you address one in the hot afternoon, and you address one early in the morning. And the early in the morning, by the reality of creation, start from 4 o'clock of any time in any part of the world. Because 12 o'clock, the whole creation submits to the Creator. By 3:30, all of the principalities and powers that have gathered in their various covens and territories, they are going back to their base. By 4 o'clock, they are already in their base. Morning starts from 4. Because even at 4 o'clock, some people are already out of their house. I mean, physically out. If you don't know that people can be out, physically out by 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe you should try Lagos. Don't even try New York, because in New York, you never sleep. Don't try Las Vegas. Las Vegas never sleep. There are so many countries that don't sleep. So when you wake up in whatever, human beings are still moving up and down. There is no night, there is no day. But then that time is very important in the realm of the spiritual. Because there is always something, the particular thing that usually happens at that particular time. So if you want to address Astro Petaphysical 999 is from morning. If you cannot address by 4 o'clock, you can address between 5 o'clock. At least 5 o'clock and 6:30. You can manage 7 o'clock in the morning. Because by 7 o'clock in the morning, too many things have already been captured. Because the outcome of the witches' meeting will begin to unfold from 4 o'clock, the outcome of their meeting. So, to frustrate the outcome, you start from when the outcome of their meeting will begin to unfold. The outcome of their meeting will begin to unfold from 4 o'clock. If anybody is captured by 12 midnight, 1 o'clock, midnight, 2 o'clock, midnight, that means the person was captured the previous day. But the meeting of the Coven meeting of any day will start to unfold from 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is the best time to begin to frustrate. Can somebody say frustrate? So if any Astro Petaphysical witch had control you in their coven, and by that time, you in the full consciousness, you are able to stop the controlling of the Astro Petaphysical between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. They will never have any grip in you. Don't forget, I said the first consciousness is just know that something is going on, and you can address it. But this one, you have the time to address it. You address it per day. It's not, oh, I have addressed it today, it will cover 1 year. No. Because activity or something happen every day. And you may be involved in some of their daily discussion. Because if what they want has not come completely in your life, they keep discussing you every day. So, but then, you also continue to stop them every day. And when you start that, what you will expect, there may be a switch. Can somebody say a switch? Don't forget, I am addressing poverty now. We are not addressing some other things. When it starts to talk about some other things, or spiritual, we'll talk about it. But then we are talking about poverty now, witches that controls poverty. That's what I am talking about right now. Maybe somebody's life is about to switch from poverty to riches. Can you say I receive it? 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 Say I receive it 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one. Hallelujah. If you want to frustrate the witches that have snatched the riches in your family, and some of them, you have seen the sign, but nobody is able to do anything with the sign. Oh, the bed just died on the way of farm, so just die. Oh, he went to war, he didn't come back. Well, they bury him like others. You know, some of these people, most times, you don't even know where they bury them. They give them mass burial. One boy died in the battlefield, they give them mass burial. Or somebody walk out of the house. Somebody, that person doesn't have a grave now. The person that walk out of the house does not have grave. You don't know where the grave is located. You don't even know whether he is dead. You don't even know whether he has become the Levitians or transmigrators. You don't even know whether he has become one of the rebellious human soul or one of the rebellious human spirit. But the only thing that can tell us direct all of these things is through the interpretations of your dream or the analysis of the spirituality of your person, which we have stopped anyway. And another thing we should be thinking about, which it has to be as fast as possible, is try to hear the experience of your generation, you representing your generation, by what you know. If what you know is correct, I will tell you what you know is correct. If what you know is not correct, I'll tell you what you know is not correct. So we have to find out what is correct, because it is knowing what is correct that you will now be able to correctly address the witches that has snatched away the riches in your generation. Is somebody understanding me? Or I am just shouting? May I not shout for nothing? So you now know the time to address witches by contact. You know the time to address Starlight 666. Those ones are the witches that function in the hot afternoon. And then the one that controls the money, which is this richest one. Because anything that is able to block your money, it has stopped your riches. That is it. That is just the secret. Just like I told you, if you are able to stop a bird from flying, you have stopped the bird from eating. That's all. It's as simple as that. If you are able to stop a bird from flying, you have been able to stop the bird from eating. So if you are able to stop the function of the astral petal within the time of the resumptions of the activity, then you are cutting off their ugly hand from your generation. And when that begins to work, there will be something. There will be a switch. That's when you will know that it has worked. Can somebody say there will be a switch? I know there will be a switch. Because I know what I'm talking about. I'm the only one that can tell you that I know too much. Not the governor of Kogi State. Because he said he knows too much. The only one that can tell you I know too much. And you are my witness. Hello. You mean this man know these things for 30 years and he didn't say it? Yes, because there are so many to say. It is time to say this, that's why I'm saying it. So if somebody think, oh, I have heard all from Degaya, there's nothing else. Meh is your name. Meh, in fact, you are, whoa. Meh is your name. If you think you have no all from the prophet, what about the thing that the prophet have not said? Hallelujah. And I have been specific about this. If you're addressing the Coven white witches begin to work, you will also notice it because it is called astropetaphysical. You will also know it in the physical because there will be what? A switch. Once there is a switch means from poverty to riches. That is the switch. It's not more than 1 second. That's to say something, a pronouncement from somebody, come and take $100 million. May you not faint. Because I'm sure, one thing I'm sure of, that day you won't be able to sleep. Sure, you won't be able, sure I know that one, you won't be able to sleep. Is it true? Is it not true? Is it 419? Is it what? Am I what happened? Am I about to die? Am I already in heaven? What is going on? Have they used me for body ritual? All kinds of things. It may be a switch. Can you tell somebody it may be a switch? But before that switch will take place, start now. Tell somebody, start now. Father, say it. My Father, my Father. Abba, Father. Abba, Father. Abba, Father. Abba, Father. Abba, Father. Abba, Father. My riches snatch away by witches, by my word, by my word. I command a switch. I command a switch. A switch. A switch. A switch. A switch. A switch. Say it. A switch. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one. What is your name? That is the name that will be written in the realm of divine spirituality. It is with this name, poverty stop in this generation. So that at the end of the day, it is not going to be only the name of the Messiah that will be popular in the realm of the spiritual and in the physical. Your name will also be included. That it is with this name, poverty stop in this generation. Because that was when the switch took place. And this switch does not even respect age. That's the problem. You can be 100 years. Switch can take place. You can be 1 year old. Switch can take place. But it is very important for this switch to happen when you are conscious. So that you don't take things for granted. Don't forget, the gap between riches and poverty is very close. Because he that becomes rich can easily become poor. Because what made a man poor can easily make a poor man, a rich man, poor. Hallelujah. Amen. What is your name? The switch that I want in your life is the switch from poverty to riches. That is the switch. And we are laying the foundation of that switch. Because surely there shall be a switch. Read my lips. Something is going to happen that will turn your life around forever. Amen. When that time comes, I am warning everybody around you. Let them not jealous you. Let them celebrate you. It is as simple as that. When the switch happens, no jealousy. Because jealousy will amount to another which is hanging around. In case you have any of these stories that is hanging here and there in your family, I have commanded a switch. I have ordered a switch. A switch from poverty to riches. Say it with your mouth. A switch from poverty to riches. Say it very well. A switch from poverty to riches. Say it very well. A switch from poverty to riches. Say it very well. A switch from poverty to riches. Say it very well. A switch from poverty to riches. Say it very well. A switch from poverty to riches. Say it 7 times. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. The last one. Start again. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. The last one. Start again. Number 1. Eh? Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. The last one. I'm sure you know all this. I no get wife, I no get husband. Now poverty. Now poverty. If you are a girl, get money. You will see them stumbling. You will see very greedy men with long throat. They will be stumbling. Because everybody too, they are looking for women that have made it. Even if it means, you are a young girl, you are now rich, you have money. You won't show it too much. You won't show it too much. Because you don't want to scare men away. You don't want men to say, it's too expensive for me. I can't even buy her shoe. Huh? You still live your life, but everybody will know this person is not suffering. Hello? The only thing that will make us to know that there is a switch has taken place is your bank account will be doing. Can someone say, do you know why? Do you know what that means? Because when they are taking your money to a bank, it is men with their muzzle. Carry it away. That is, your bank account should be doing. If your money is just what they put in the pocket, nothing has happened. Hello? If they take your money to the bank, you just put it in the pocket, nothing has happened. What has happened? Nothing. But let it be that 80 men will carry the Ghana bag. Then something has happened. That is when it will be sweet to go to church. Am I talking to you? It will be sweet to follow your maker. In fact, that is time to be a preacher, because you will talk through straight. Because when you talk truth, then nobody's feeding you. You are okay. You are okay, nobody's feeding you. Anybody, you don't need anything from anybody. You are already okay. That's what I want you to be. A switch from poverty to riches. Say 7 times. A switch from poverty to riches. Number 2. A switch from poverty to riches. Number 3. A switch from poverty to riches. Number 4. A switch from poverty to riches. Number 5. A switch from poverty to riches. Number 6. A switch from poverty to riches. The last one. I want to hear from you the switch that has taken place. I want to hear from you the switch that has taken place. I want to hear from you the switch that has taken place. Don't forget what you are told at the beginning of this year. When your own first come, remember your brother. Remember your sister. Remember your maker. When your own arrive, remember that we are building the house of our father in Abuja. So let the money keep rolling in when a switch has taken place. No pretend about it. Lavish the switch on the house of your father. Receive it! Are you happy today? To hear mystery, another mystery. That we are saying that you are good. That all the miracles you've done has brought us joy. Yes,
and we are changed. All the hope we have, we place in you right now. Father, we declare that we love you. We declare our everlasting love for you. Father, we declare that we love you.
Hey.
We declare our everlasting love for you. And we will say
you are good.
that you